Hey kids, it's your boy, Fourth Horseman of the Apocalypse here, and here we're sharing today some very, very important coronavirus facts, and also what to do if you're out of work, or just don't know what to do in general with the money left in your bank. Because right now the interest rates are at 0.25 or less, and it's about to go to zero, maybe even negative. They've been debating that for some time. Alright, so let's start with some facts. Coronavirus will stay alive up to 35 days in incubation, 3 hours in the air, and also 6 hours to several days on surfaces. I'm not sure about that last part, but it does last for several days from what I've seen. At the very least, give it a maximum of 72 hours. Okay, so what do you need to survive this mad crisis? First of all, face masks. These are absolutely useless. Look, any surgical, like, shitty blue-white mask, or this piece of shit here, a P2 mask, nonetheless, these don't even block particles the size of viruses. Like, the best they can do is if someone tries to spray you in the face, at least you've got something protecting you. And it doesn't mean don't wear these, it means if you have nothing else, you have to wear these at least to protect you and your parents and friends, loved ones, and every sick person in your family. You'll need this to protect them as well. So, at the very least, wear this if you have nothing else. But, going up a tier, we have the P1 and A1 filters, or any other chemical filters. These are basically as effective as a P2, maybe a little bit more, because at the very least they've got a carbon filter, or something similar in it. This one's designed specifically for alcohol vapors, so it has a cotton filter inside, and then also a charcoal filter. So this is slightly effective, but at least it's better than the I can't seal properly around the nasal cavity because there's a gap, if you see closely over there, in between where my thumb is. If you seal that around your nose, boom, there you go, 1 millimeter gap. And then at the top here, you can't seal it properly around your nose. Oh no, 1 centimeter gap. 1 centimeter squared gap around your nasal cavity area. Your nasal ridge, I mean, sorry. And, okay. Moving up another tier. This is P1, A1, so it's a little bit more effective than a non-respirator P2. And then we are usually attaching these to like a 3M 6200 or something like that. But also, we have the end-all solutions over here. Moving up another tier, the GP5, GP7, or GP whatever the fuck. These are the Soviet masks made in the Soviet Union back in the 1950s, 60s, you name it. These are old masks, and they contain white asbestos in the cardboard filter, no matter what the seller on eBay tries to tell you otherwise. Okay, every filter, I believe, up to the 1990s, I think the mid-90s maybe, they all contain white asbestos, and they will have it in the filter. So if you have a pristine condition filter though, it is likely that the asbestos will not leak into your breathing system. But if you want to make triply sure, you could put a piece of cotton pad in the filter going up to you. But do not put it where the rubber seals around the thread of the filter itself, because that would just compromise the seal. And these are good because they are dirt cheap. They are around $15 AUD on eBay right now. Before they used to be like 5 or 6. And everything's gone up, especially for protection because of the coronavirus. And to complement this, you would most likely need a $2 raincoat from your local $2 shop, but I shouldn't really be telling you that, otherwise you guys are all gonna hoard every raincoat there is. Okay, and now moving up a third tier is the ABEKP filter, or P3 filter. Any of these, the Polish FP3 filters, all these other NATO filters as well. These are all 40mm thread, just like the Soviet ones, except the Soviet ones have their own proprietary GOST threads. So even though they're both 40mm, a lot of them aren't cross-compatible unless you have a 3M 6800 mask, or something like that. Okay, so this very, very good filter. It's got 2 caps on it. You have the bottom and the top cap. You got a very good particulate filter in there, P3 particulate, and also ABE tier 3s as well. So that's definitely a good mask too. A mask filter, I mean. Okay, seal that back up. Back on. There you go, that's the P3 filter. And to mount that, you'll need something like this. A proper 3M 6800 or 6200, or even a M65Z Draeger, currently on eBay for around just a couple bucks. 40 bucks I think it was. Good rubberized mask with rubber around the edges to make a proper seal. Make sure your hair is cut before you do the smile away, and your beard is not there to just let free air in, because that's basically just as effective as a surgical, albeit a little bit more. And these are the P100 2097 and 2091 filters, I think they were. And make sure when you buy them that the edge seals over here aren't compromised, because a lot of these Chinese-made ones have a little bit of a sealing issue on the inside here, as they're just basically hot melted onto the plastic. What you want to do when you're attaching them is kind of squeeze it like this, and then just hold it by the plastic ring inside the filter and twist it on. Otherwise you risk just shearing the paper off. This is good because it has both a 40mm thread and also the standard 3M filter thread, which is this thing, the lock thread. Very good filters. Very light when you run the P100 filters on them. And overall, just a very, very high quality filter. You can get on AliExpress for around 60 bucks. Just search up 3M 6800 and you'll find some good results. And the other filters you get on eBay, sometimes they even gift you some filters with this 6800 mask. And that's basically all you really need to know, except some more facts, okay? Your parents are probably dead if they get infected by you, you irresponsible piece of shit. And the coronavirus is actually 40 times deadlier than the flu, with around a 4% fatality rate on younger people, and nearly 10% to 20% for people over 60 to 90 years old. These are from the World Health Organization figures, and you can cross-verify that because they're on a chart. And okay, you can also make face shields out of 1.25 liter bottles. And basically, you just wrap them around your head. So you can make a face shield out of a 1.25 liter bottle. You just cut the bottle basically with one cut down the middle. And yeah, you open it up. Then you can fold it around your face if you get rid of the bottom of it. And you're at the top of it as well. So that's a very basic face shield. If you only have a P2 or a surgical mask, at least you'll have some eye protection as well. Because yes, the coronavirus will infect you through your eyes, and it will travel down into your lungs and do all that jazz and get you infected in the end. So you must at least tie a shitty ass bottle around your face so you can protect your eyes from that. At least they won't spray you on your face or on your skin, and that is much better complemented with a raincoat as well. So, alright, next thing. GFC is hitting hard. The Dow has crashed like mad. What to do when that happens? First of all, if you haven't already, you're probably already too late, but there's never too late in general. Sell every single share you hold. Sell everything. I don't care what it is, as long as it makes sense to sell, sell it. Because when the market crashes, the stock market is just completely gonna die. There are currently no businesses, like, open, basically. Like, Australia's on full, nearly, partial lockdown, except for the essential services. China's basically on a 50% lockdown. Global economy depends on China. And America is on basically a full lockdown now. Like, Jesus Christ, they have more infections than in China. 83,000. And we're looking at some insane numbers here. Like, can the economy survive in this situation? No, it can't. Because if you look very, very closely, it hasn't been surviving in the last 2 years very well, has it now? corporate debt to GDP at every single GFC is at a plateau. If you look closely here at the plateau above 2018, 19, 2020 period, that is going to be the biggest corporate debt to GDP that we have ever seen in our lives. That is not a housing bubble, that is not a tech bubble, that is an everything bubble. Yes, there has been another housing bubble, yes, there has been another tech bubble, there's been... you can't expect that to not crash. You see the Dow rebounding to like 22,000 USD right now? That's not gonna last. It'll last like 2 days. At most. 2 or 3 days, yeah? And then, after that, you'll see the biggest crash ever. Now, you're gonna ask me, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna lose my entire savings, right? Well, true, yeah, if you don't buy gold. You need to buy gold. Not fucking toilet paper, yeah? That shit's not gonna appreciate. It's useless. Buy gold. Gold. Solid bar gold. Take it home with you, if you have enough security or protection. But yeah, definitely, you'll need gold. Preferably from, if you're in Australia, you get the Perth Mint gold. But ABC over Perth Mint, because ABC's bullions are cheaper. Only buy bullion, do not buy decorative shit, the coins, no one's gonna buy that. Like, if you buy actual bullion, people buy that back, even with a 1% under market. Like, it's just... there's no premium on top of it, it's just a solid bar of gold, right? There's no artisan shit, there's nothing... It's just a solid bar, everyone recognizes a solid bar of gold. Not gonna argue over price with it, because it's just by weight. There you go. And, okay, once you've bought gold, what do? You hold it until the market hits rock bottom, you sell your gold, and you buy shares. How many shares? Well, go ask yourself. What company looks trustworthy? I'll put more money in the ones that I trust more. For example, I've invested myself in Woolworths before, after the first GFC, and I've also invested in a couple of companies like Adelaide Brighton, which is a concrete company. This is not financial advice, don't quote me on this, but buy shares, buy gold, buy crypto, because it is the only way out of this crisis. And I mean, buy shares when the market's at the bottom, but right now just buy gold and crypto. And okay, wait for the stock crash. The end of the crash is usually... well, it's probably going to be at the end of another month or two, maybe a few more, because in 2008 wasn't a sudden crash, not overnight, it took place over several months. And if you need any financial, like, actually defining all the terms that you're hearing getting thrown around, like quantitative easing, bailouts, all this random jargon that they throw in to confuse people so they don't know they're being cheated out of their hard-earned money, and that they don't know $2 trillion are being printed on top of the 20 trillion of the entirety of America's GDP, and you basically inflated your entire country by what, 10%? That's 10% inflation right there. What's that gonna do to your bank account? You're gonna lose like what, 2-3% of your money. It's just gonskis, like completely gone. What? If the richer you are, in fact, the harder that's gonna hit, because the more percentage you're gonna lose based on just a few percent if the government tries to take some of that money, you know. So theoretically, it would be good for the people, but then we're all staying home, and inflation is never really good if you don't realize what it's doing to you. Okay, so
we don't just get rights.
Well, let's see what let's see what Joe Biden has to say about this. Yeah?
We choose truth over facts.
Not much. Okay, quantitative easing basically means money printing, right? Bailouts basically mean we're gonna give the banks and the companies, the multi-million-dollar companies, a couple of $1 million, a couple of billion, just a little bit, a few trillion here and there, yeah. And then we're gonna give the $50 million businesses and those who are just a few dollars under free bailouts, free money. Thanks, Scott Morrison, the man who went to Hawaii himself during the Great Bushfires of Australia 2020, and who is now debating on whether to send children to school or blame people for being selfish when they don't trust the government a single bit. Anyway, this is your boy Winkli, back with the important videos, signing out. And oh yes, I haven't said anything about Centrelink, the joke of welfare system that is, they can't even take 6 hours to answer your call on normal load. We don't even have 6,300 beds available on normal load. And now we're getting hit with a 3,000 person plus infection, which will likely hit in the 300,000 range in Australia alone. And we won't even have space to house them, because right now we probably only have like 10,000 beds available. And the government hasn't done shit. We haven't built new hospitals. Nothing. They're like, oh yeah, it will just blow over. Stay in your homes. We won't even pay you to your bank account. You have to open a Centrelink account. You have to wait in a 200-person queue. Wait until the website decides to suddenly start working again. Not after someone got DDoSed, but because everyone tried to go on Centrelink because they simply couldn't afford better servers. Like, how is the government this incompetent at doing anything in Australia? Like, honestly, get out. You don't deserve to be in office if you can't solve such a simple problem as to tell them what they need to buy, tell them what they need to wear, and tell them what they need to do to stay safe. Like, go buy a bottle of vodka or isopropyl alcohol if you don't have any of that methylated spirits left, if you don't have any of that hand sanitizer left. Like, seriously. It's that dead simple. You don't need a scientist to tell you that there are no testing kits available and the coronavirus may or may not be transmitted person to person. It's a given. It's a coronavirus. It's a coronavirus. There are other viruses like it under the coronavirus category, and they've infected via respiratory, via water, via the air, via touch, via anything. Basic shit. You don't need a brain to figure out that a virus infects people, whether or not the person has it or not. It's just... what? My brain... I'm losing brain cells as I watch this crisis. Like, look, simply go to the WuhanVirus.com if you want to go track the rate of infections. Like, seriously, this is so basic. Like, look at that shit. How do you not tell? How are people this dumb? Like, I was nearly beat up. Because people were like, oh, you're infected, cunt. Because I wore a mask. Like, how does that process? I was wearing a full-face respirator, and they thought I was infected. And they tried to beat me up. Not even just run away. They tried to beat me up for it. I had to ride away on my scooter, cunt. Like, this is just honestly retarded. And I don't even know how on earth Australia has that many retards in the country, but apparently there are quite a few. We have 2,800 people, and there are less than, 10-20% of people on the street wearing masks. Masks work, but only if you have the right ones. And even if you don't have the right ones, at least they do something. It's like, oh, because a .50 caliber will penetrate a tank, I'm not going to wear any body armor because apparently nobody else runs pistols, right? No. It's going to block something. Yeah? It's going to block something. So wear a fucking mask, please. Thank you, boys and girls. Thank you, guys. Please bear with us and stay alive. Look at the news tracker. Look at which countries are infected. I know there's also an Australian tracker here as well for New South Wales and other states. You can see here, I'm laughing here, because look, northern beaches. These retards have been going to Manly and Bondi in like the last few weeks and months, incessantly. No one's wearing masks, hot sunny day, a few thousand people on the beach, just chilling. Yeah? Well, you know what? Sucks to be them, but they probably deserve it anyway. When they go home to their mums and dads, their grandmas and grandpas, they're all gonna die. And it's a pity because natural selection won't kill them too. Anyway, if you're a parent, you should have some decency and responsibility to educate your children to wear a mask. Not to just send them out to parties every night. Like, seriously, have some decency, wear a mask, prevent the infection. Only you can prevent yourself and your friends from getting infected from coronavirus. It's that dead easy.
Good intentions.